Uh, okay. It has been a long time since I have done a gear set review in the Division 2. It's literally how the original channel got started, and I completely skipped last season, and apparently last season brought like the God gun. So that's going to be a grind for me to see if I can find that gun out in the world, but hey, I've been having a blast with this season so far, and one of the things that I've been having fun with, but only in non-serious content, has to be the new gear set they added, which is the Exura set. Now, running through the stats for the Exura set, we've got two-piece increased burn duration, plus the 15% increase to skill health. Three-piece is plus 40% burn damage. And then, of course, you've got the four-piece, which is Oritz Incinerator Turret Prototype. Incinerator turret spins 360 degrees. Yes, this set does allow your turret to essentially turn into the turret from the Division 1, but better on paper. It turns into the turret from Division 1, but better on paper. It does not turn into the turret from Division 1 or the Firebrand set from Division 1. It doesn't return that glory in any way, shape, or form. And I'm going to walk you through the reasons as to why. Of course, like I said, we're using Vial. We've got a four-piece, and then we're using skill damage, skill haste piece. Would have been a little bit better if it was status effect, skill haste, but we're still getting that extra damage, just not the extra duration from our turret burning. Now, what does it mean when it says that the turret has 360 degrees? Exactly what it sounds like. The bad boy spins. It turns your turret essentially into a Beyblade. This is extremely great because not only is it 360 degrees around the turret, it seems as though it's 360 degrees in every single direction. We were doing countdown, and of course, if you're familiar with countdown, there's that section where when you reach towards the end, the Black Tusk operators will drop out of the helicopter coming from the sky. I threw the turret down below them, thinking that, I'm just going to burn them. No, turret was hitting them as they were coming down. So it's a really, really big range in regards to what you're able to hit and set on fire with this turret. Another really great thing about the fire turret that I seem to have forgotten, or they seem to have changed, is that it does not have the conventional skill cooldown. And what I mean by that is, for any of your other skills, when you use them, the cooldown, as you can see, like in the gray, the white over the orange at the bottom, the cooldown duration instantaneously starts. For the fire turret, it's actually linked to the amount of fuel that the incinerator turret actually has, which is, if you're not using it, it's just going to sit there until you either walk up and pick it up and you get that reduced duration for not using the entire thing, or until you activate it again. And as you can see now, it's actually ticking down because you're actually using up fuel, but then once you stop, it stops as well. That's really great for locking down a specific zone. If you know that enemies are going to be coming out of a specific door, or there's a certain room with multiple different angles that you need to be able to hit all at the same time, using the flame turret is fantastic for locking down that room and setting everybody on fire. But then we get into the not so fun stuff. Like, the fun stuff is that being able to throw the turret into a room, watching it spin like a madman. How you want to use it is exactly how I just did, which is you throw it down, you let it set somebody on fire, then you turn it off. Then once you see that their cooldown is over, you activate it again, set them back on fire, then you turn it off. Because there really isn't any like extra damage that's being done, and it's not refreshing that debuff that they get to say that they're burning in any way, shape, or form. This is, in my opinion, the most effective way to use it. But what you have to remember is, like I said, as long as it's on the floor, it's not coming off of cooldown in any way, shape, or form. But the not so fun stuff actually has to do with its damage. So when we throw this out, make it do a spin, 185,000. So we'll round it up, 186,000 in damage. Plus, of course, we have the vial mass ticking away for the 52,000. Now, when I was running around using this, I had the wool pulled over my eyes, where I was completely having a blast with it, but I wasn't really paying attention to the numbers that it was doing. And when I swapped away from it, and what I mean by that is, there's also the detonation. I think I tested the detonation's damage earlier. It's about 120,000. I'm gonna do it just to show you the range that you basically have. Like, you can throw it, it'll do a spin, and then you detonate it for like 122,000, which is pretty decent, but not the way in which you want to use it, because right now we have the skill haste buff, so it's coming back in 9 seconds. Without the skill haste buff, if we were to leave this area, I believe, and just pop over here maybe, the cooldown is 35 seconds. You can get the cooldown a lot lower if you decide to just go straight skill haste, but you'd be losing out on even more damage. Now, what I mean by saying that utility wise it's not as good, it's good for having fun, but in high-end content it's not, in my opinion, as good as the Eclipse Protocol build, which is right here. Because of course, if you're familiar with Eclipse Protocol, everyone should be familiar with Eclipse Protocol. You've got status effects plus 15%, skill haste plus 15%, hazard protection plus 30%. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. That is all great. Here's the thing about the this build in particular. Now remember, we were doing what, 186,000, right? $700,000 on detonation, 320,000 per tick, which is, in my opinion, I think damn near enough to almost kill this. But then of course you've got the spread. When it comes to truly locking down like a room of enemies, Eclipse Protocol is still the king. 320,000 per tick, completely shredding through most yellow bar's health, jumps to another enemy, continues friggin' burning. Like, that is a whole lot better than the turret. For high-end content, why wouldn't you want to use Eclipse Protocol? You jump in, you set everything on fire, everything's burning, the fire's jumping back and forth, it probably jumps to something else. You can completely set up the fire again by just firing on another one of these and detonating them and watching them burn and watching them tick. Yeah, I would go with this. I would go with this 7 times out of 10 before I go with the flame turret, because look at the damage. If in my opinion, if the turret's tick was doing the 320k, I would say that the turret is a viable option, probably even the better option over Eclipse Protocol. But that damage, you're sacrificing so much damage using the turret. Let's just pop out here and swap back over the turret. Hop back here, swap out over to the turret. Let's change this. Let's set this to a veteran. Let's set this to a veteran. And we're gonna throw it to an optimal location. Another thing that I don't like is when you swap over to the Incinerator turret, you cannot move. You are locked in. You can't go back, you can't go forward, you can't do anything until you throw the turret. That is that's shitty, in my opinion. I feel as though you should have had the freedom of movement that you do when you throw the sniper turret, or in my opinion, when you throw any of the turrets. The fact that you have to literally stop. Well, I guess one of the things you could say is, like, you know, if you're in cover, but even if you're in cover, once you swap over to it, can't move. You're locked in. Let's throw it right here. Now the upside, like I said, fantastic range, but look at the damage. It's so much less. You're doing damn near half. That's the only upside. The upside is your ability to essentially lock down. Your upside is also the range. So right now, this is what, 15? I would say from where the turret is. Hold on. Let's get rid of the turret. Let's test out let's test out overall range to see just how lethal this thing can be. Let's go with 20 meters first. I don't think it's gonna hit 20 meters, but we'll see. 20 meters? No. 15 meters? 15 meters. That's big. That's covering an entire room, then some. But like I said, if you're running Eclipse Protocol and you set someone fire over here, that person all the way back there is probably going to get caught in that burn too if that person dies, depending on, you know, what you're running. So by itself, like I said, it's fun. It's fun being able to see the Division 1 turret back again. It's an absolute ball being able to use the Division 1 turret. The range is fantastic. Being able to set basically everyone on fire so far back with just one simple spin with a crazy uptime, which is super good. It's definitely going to have its it's definitely going to have its situations. It's going to be situational. It's going to be super situational. It's definitely not going to reach all the way back there. It's definitely going to be situational where it's like, okay, I need to be able to lock down like this entire room or this entire corner of a room. I can throw this thing out. It's going to set everybody on fire. They're going to burn. I can swap over to Scorpion, hit him a couple times, activate this, set everybody on fire, everybody's burned, swap over to Scorpion, hit him a couple times, get those extra ticks in there, and then that target is essentially dead. That's good. That niche works. But here's the thing. Is it going to be as effective? Let's step out here. Is it going to be as effective, like I said, as an Eclipse Protocol? If they up the damage, I would say that it would probably be that build that could compete with Eclipse as a viable option for you to basically run. But is it going to beat, let's say, doing... How the hell did that miss? Is it going to be as viable as doing that? Is it going to be as viable as doing that? Look at it tick away. Dead. Jumps back. Crazy. Like, is it as viable as doing something like that out in the field? No. 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 351k on the tick. Jumps over here. It's probably going to burn through that and kill that. Yeah, look at it go. Tick, 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 dead. Jumps back over here to continue the damage. And then, of course, if you want to set it up, as soon as they come out, you reset it. Bing, bing, bong. Back on fire again. And the craziness continues. I feel as though the better choice that they could have went with was if they had simply decided to revert the changes that they made to the turret from Division 1 to Division 2. And once they made that change, making it do like the 360 spin on its own, that didn't require like a special set, you could have, in my opinion, done a lot more. Because now you probably replace the 360 spin and you make it so that, like, you know, targets that are on fire, which is what the backpack I think already does. I think the backpack does 25% weapon damage to enemies set on fire by the flame turret. In that type of situation, you could have probably changed that so that it's like 50% extra damage to to enemies that are essentially set on fire, and then the backpack could have been like an extra 25% damage or 75% from like the full 4-piece set, and then 25% to make it a full 100%. And then you'd probably run Burnout, which for whatever reason I don't have because it's been a meme gun for so long in regards to a lot of these fire builds. I've never kept one. I've kept 300 other things. Look at my stash. I've kept 297 other things. Was Burnout one of them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Glory Days, Shield Splinter, Rail Splitter, like Dark Winter, Cold Relations, Emil's Guard, Safety Distance, The Grudge. All these weapons I kept in hope that one day they will be super fucking good. I did not keep burnout for like that extra 25% burn damage. Could have been great. Like, but it's fun. And I do mean that it is fun. It is fun, like I said, being able to throw the turret out there, watching it set just everything on fire. Even with this build, like, that's basically like the double up that I've been doing, which is toss the turret out there, let the turret set it on fire, hit it with that, turn the turret off, and then just watch them like tick down. Because like I said, the range for the turret is absolutely ridiculous. Being able to be on this side of the room and hit something on that damn near that side of the room is fucking great. Throwing it into the center of a room and watching it lock down the entire room is fucking god tier. But like I said, that utility outside of being fun just doesn't translate well to high-end content where you can run builds that basically, like, could you run the riot foam with this? Yes you could. You could absolutely run the riot foam with that. You could lock an enemy down when they come out of a doorway, set them on fire, and go back to what you're doing over here. But does Eclipse Protocol do it better? Yes it does. Just run Eclipse Protocol. That way you have everything jumping around the map back and forth, locking people up. But like I said, I'm probably going to end up continue using this build. I've got a few other things that I really want to try out in regards to this turret, but on first usage, it's fun, but you're not going to use it in endgame. It's not going to replace Eclipse Protocol. We're going to have to give it like if I was going to rate it on a A to D, well, an A to F scale, I would say that this is a C. It's C plus. Like I said, fun, but not practical. But let me know what you think. Comment down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.